Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel PharmEasy. In this lecture, we will study about the tissue level of organization. And the lecture will include introduction to tissue and its types, that is epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue and nervous tissue. So, let's start. The word tissue comes from an old French word tissu that means to weave. Tissues are groups of cells that have a similar structure and act together to perform a specific function, and the study of tissues is known as histology. And Xavier Bichat is considered as the father of histology. These are the different types of tissues such as epithelial tissue, muscle tissue, cartilage tissue, blood, loose connective tissue, bone tissue and the nervous tissue. Generally, there are 4 types of tissues as epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue. And now, we will study these types one by one in detail. So, first type of tissue is epithelial tissue or epithelium. It is formed from a tightly fitted continuous layer of cells. One surface of the epithelial tissue is exposed to either external environment or the fluid body. Cells comprising an epithelial layer are linked via semi-permeable membrane and tight junctions. Hence, it acts as a barrier between external environment and the organ it covers. It is located in skin, trachea, reproductive tract, and the digestive tract's inner lining. Functions of epithelial tissue are covering and helps in protection of organs. And it has also roles in absorption of water and nutrients, getting rid of waste, and secreting enzymes or hormones. The cells of the body's surface form the outer layer of skin. Some common diseases like eczema and psoriasis. And this diagram shows types of epithelial tissues such as simple squamous epithelium, simple cuboidal epithelium, simple columnar epithelium, and stratified squamous epithelium, stratified cuboidal epithelium, stratified columnar epithelium, and the pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium. Second type is connective tissue. These tissues are made up of cells separated by non-living material, which is called as extracellular matrix. This matrix can be liquid or rigid. It gives shape to organs and holds them in place. They originate from mesoderm. It is composed of extracellular fibers, ground substance, and migrating cells. And it is made up of a few cells present in the intracellular framework of protein fibers secreted by cells, called as collagen or elastin. Examples are blood, tendons, ligaments, adipose tissue, areolar tissues, and bones. Functions of connective tissue are to allow oxygen to diffuse from blood vessels into cells, and also connects or separates groups of other tissues. Types of connective tissue are loose connective tissue that includes areolar tissue and adipose tissue. Dense connective tissue includes tendons and ligament. And specialized connective tissue includes cartilage, bones, and lymph. This is a simplified flowchart of classification of connective tissue. It is classified as proper connective tissue, fluid connective tissue, and supportive connective tissue. And proper connective tissue is further classified into loose connective tissue, which includes areolar tissue that supports epithelium and adipose tissue, which is a subcutaneous fat, and the dense connective tissue, which includes tendon, ligament, and white fibrous tissue. Its second type is fluid connective tissue that includes blood and lymph. And the last type is supportive connective tissue. It is further classified into bones and cartilage. Bones are hard in nature and cartilages are soft bones. Bone includes compact bones and spongy bone, and cartilage includes hyaline bone, elastic bone, and the fibrocartilage. This diagram shows some types of connective tissue such as dense connective tissue, adipose tissue, areolar tissue, compact bone, and blood. Next type is muscle tissue. It comprises of all the muscles in the body, and the specialized nature of the tissue is what allows muscles to contract. Muscle tissue to produce force and cause motion, either locomotion or movement within internal organs. Types of muscle tissues are skeletal muscle. These are voluntary muscles that are under our control. It anchors tendons to bones and allows the body to move. Cardiac muscle. These are involuntary muscles present only in our heart and contracts to pump blood, and is controlled by autonomic nervous system. Smooth muscle. These are also involuntary muscles present in the organs, blood vessels, digestive tract, skin, etc. And it is controlled by autonomic nervous system. This diagram shows the types of muscle tissue, that is skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and cardiac muscle. In skeletal muscle, fibers are striated, tubular, and multinucleated. It is voluntary in nature, that means muscle movement are under our control and usually attached to skeletal muscle. These muscles are generally located in our limbs. It shows striations as well as it is multinucleated. And in smooth muscles, fibers are non-striated, spindle-shaped, and single nucleus is present. It is involuntary in nature and present in the internal organs. And in cardiac muscles, fibers are striated. This means they contain sarcomere, and it is branched and uninucleated. It is involuntary in nature, and these muscles are present only in our heart. Last type of tissue is nervous tissue. It is also called neural tissue. Nervous system regulates and controls the body functions and activity. It is composed of neurons, also known as nerve cells, which receive and transmits impulses, and neuroglia, also known as glial cells, which assist the propagation of nerve impulse as well as provide nutrients to the neurons. Information in a neuron is unidirectional as it passes from the dendrites across the cell body down to axon. Nervous tissues are found in brain, spinal cord, and peripheral nerves. The symptoms of Alzheimer's disease, such as memory loss, mood swings, and confusion, are caused by the breakdown of nervous tissue. Functions are it responds to stimuli and carries out communication and integration, and also carries messages from other neurons to the cell body. It consists of two parts, that is central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. This is a simplified flowchart of classification of nervous system. Nervous system is classified into two parts, that central nervous system, and it is further classified into brain and spinal cord. And peripheral nervous system is also further divided into two parts, that is somatic and autonomic nervous system, and it divided into two parts, that is sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. This is a diagram of neuron. A neuron consists of an axon, which is responsible for communicating with other cells. The main part is the cell body, which contains nucleus, cytoplasm, and cell organelles. And dendrites are highly branched structures responsible for receiving information from the other neurons and synapses. And if you have any doubts regarding our lecture, then kindly ask in the comments section. Thank you. Keep watching and take care.